Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports. Yeah, let's get right into it. Like, subscribe, notification. So here's the deal. Kyrie Irving. They lost big time to the Nets last night. Obviously, Kyrie Irving was not playing. My question to you guys is Kyrie Irving getting screwed? And, you know, unvaccinated players are allowed to play in the Barclays Arena or Center, whatever the hell it's called. But unvaccinated home players are not allowed to play in the Barclays Center. I think Kyrie Irving is a diva. Other than this whole thing, right? Like, I'm judging his basing it on his past experiences, past stuff that he's tried to done or has done, but I just think he is getting screwed, and I gotta call it like it is. I would not be true to myself if I wasn't, but I think he's 100% getting screwed over because this law, whatever the hell it is, Eric Adams, does not make any sense to me whatsoever. Make sure you take a look at this clip and you tell me, is Kyrie Irving getting screwed?
This is a difficult one.
It's not.
It's so difficult.
Allow me to
Okay,
explain.
tell me why it's not.
Allow me to explain. Mayor Adams, first of all, if anybody hasn't seen SNL spoof Mayor Eric Adams, you need to see Chris Red. It's spectacular.
I've
It's
seen them spoof you.
Yeah, and they were good with me, especially Michael Irvin. Keenan Thompson was hilarious with Michael Irvin. That was a mala. I mean, that was hilarious, okay? Keenan Thompson was spectacular. But this kid, Chris Red, doing Eric Adams, it's the funniest stuff that I've seen all year.
They're geniuses on that.
Having said all of that, Mayor Eric Adams, who I like, I'm not casting any aspersions with you with what I'm saying. Please don't take it. And you're welcome to come on the show anytime. I'm happy to have you on First Take, sir, to discuss this issue. Nobody's asking you to make an exception for Kyrie Irving. We're asking you to eradicate the rule because it's a stupid rule. That's why. There's no debating this. You are a visitor, so you are allowed to come to the Barclays Center and play. But if you happen to play at the Barclays Center as your home court, you can't play. So if Kyrie Irving had gotten traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, okay, instead of James Harden, Kyrie Irving could play at the Barclays Center. But Kyrie Irving, the member of the Brooklyn Nets, can't play at the Barclays Center. I don't get that. Kyrie doesn't get that. Commissioner Adam Silver doesn't get that, along with a host of other people. It's a stupid rule. Plain and simple. And when you talk about people, you talk about medical workers and law enforcement officials and stuff like that. They're city employees. I still don't like the rule. I still don't. But when you talk about indoor restaurants, indoor facilities, and a laxing of the rules, then it should be laxed for an indoor facility like the Barclays Center, especially when the rule is not applicable to visitors inside the Barclays Center. It makes no sense. I can't believe that I have to sit up here and defend Kyrie Irving, but he deserves to be defended. Kyrie Irving, me and his decision-making, always finding an excuse to be off of work in his career, I stand by that. I haven't changed that position. But that has nothing to do with this. With this situation, Kyrie Irving is a victim. Kyrie Irving is being screwed over because of a rule that is not applicable to his contemporaries from different cities who happen to come visit the Barclays Center. That is why, Eric Adams, we are asking you to change the rule. We're not asking you to change the rule for Kyrie Irving. We're asking you to change a rule that evidently isn't applicable to other people visiting the Barclays Center. You're either all in or you all out. If the rule is in place, the rule should be applicable to visitors coming to that place, not just for people who reside in that place. It makes no sense.
Monica, can I ask you a question? I get that the rules
Yes,
are
ma'am.
double standard, but at the same time, do you get where Mayor Eric Adams is coming from, where this could send the wrong message? Even if the rule is bogus, it looks like, hey, we're making an exception for this multimillionaire athlete, and how that would look to the rest of New Yorkers who have been sacrificing.
Yes, Molly. I understand Mayor Adams pointing out an exception, but I do agree with Stephen A. in that it's not necessarily an exception that's being asked for. The qualm is that the rules should be done. Now, I was struck by this idea of public versus private sector, and quite honestly, it was a bit confusing for me. As I understand it, it maintains that Kyrie is an employee, and so the mandate still applies to employees of businesses here in New York. But to me, on a very base level, at this point, if he's allowed to be in the gym, he should be allowed to play in the gym. And when we talk about fitness gyms for the average person, if there's no longer a vaccine check at the door and so on and so forth, and businesses are being allowed to proceed, now we're getting into what are we doing? And I will admit, Molly, that initially I was able to make the argument or had the capacity to understand the idea of folks that exist in New York on a daily basis, whether they are residents or people that work here 9 to 5, 5 days a week. The idea that if we can get people that live here to abide by the rule, we can protect ourselves and tourism be what it may. But now, if Kyrie's allowed to be present, I don't understand why he's not allowed to play, particularly because the NBA is still testing, as I understand.
Well, again, that's your position, and I respect it. My position, as far as I'm concerned, is far more profound. You're allowing visitors to come into. Listen, think about it this way, y'all. If I live in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And Eminem and Molly Q
Yeah.
and Stephen A. decide to go out to dinner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, according to New York, if you reside in that place in New York City, you can't come to the restaurant with us because you ain't vaccinated. But if you a visitor, you can join us. Now, how stupid is that?
I think their thought process behind it, I get that it's totally bogus. Even Adam Silver said it was bogus, was because you're only here for a short amount of time.
I understand
so they
that.
don't think that contamination will happen.
I understand that. But the point of the matter is we've learned listen, I came down with it. Ain't nobody gonna tell me anything. You don't need multiple bites at the apple to get COVID, okay?
Yeah.
All it takes is one shot. Okay, this is why people insist on masks while we're on the airplanes, for example. Because you want to do whatever you can to protect, because all it takes is that trip on a plane for you to get contaminated. I don't want to hear, well, it's a visitor as opposed to somebody at home. So it's the difference. The fact of the matter is, get rid of the rule. At this point, it's utterly stupid, particularly when the mandate has been laxed to some degree in the public sector at the very least. The bottom line is you got Kyrie Irving, who deserves to be playing at the Barclays Center because you're willing to allow visitors to play at the Barclays Center, even if they're unvaccinated. That is the principled position, and Kyrie Irving is being screwed over on this.
So, like I said, is Kyrie Irving getting screwed? I believe he is. And I just want to hear from you guys. What do you think? A lot of people may not like the guy. A lot of people may like the guy. Personal opinions about his character, about what he's done in the past, put that away for a second here. I just want to stick to the fact, to the situation itself. Is this guy getting screwed over from a ridiculous law that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever? If you're a visiting unvaccinated player, you're allowed to play in the Barclays Center. If you are a home unvaccinated player, you are not allowed to play in the Barclays Center. Doesn't make any sense. But let's hear from you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section and tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys hit subscribe, like, and notification on the bottom of this video. This is Jag from Jaggy Sports.